Hello, welcome to the lesson, the basis of exploitation of results of the module Enrich in LAC Solutions. In this session, I shall talk about the importance of exploitation in Horizon Europe projects. It will include some definition, what is exploitation, how to handle exploitation in a proposal level, how to handle exploitation in the implementation phase, what it means, plan for exploitation and dissemination of results. Exploitation. The starting point of exploitation is the requirement set by Horizon Europe program regarding impacts. There are three major impacts like scientific impact, societal impact, and economic impact. Exploitation is mainly about economic impact, however, it interrelates with societal impacts as well. Economic impact means that how to utilize or exploit the results which are generated in the project, which means either commercialization or knowledge or technology transfer, or just simply strengthen deployment of innovative solutions. Concerning economical and technological impact, also expected to demonstrate how you generate innovation-based growth, how to create more and better jobs, and how you can leverage investments in research and innovation. How we can define exploitation. So, what is impact? How an investment in R&D is turned into growth? You should consider your grant as an investment on behalf of the taxpayers. Exploitation is the process how you achieve this impact. If you have a great result, it does not mean that you already have an impact, because you have to translate this result into something tangible. So, exploitation is a value-driven process. Value may have two different meanings. One is more commercial, like generating revenues. If there is a valuable customer who is ready to pay for your new technology, for a new product. The other kind of value generation, if you fulfill an existing gap. So there is a need and you fulfill. Increase the organization's community's distinct skill set is also a kind of exploitation, or improve processes, quality, like quality of life, quality of products, quality of services, or even more, there are non-commercial type of values, like developing new policies, developing new standards, new methodologies, and so on. So that is the value which is generated. The use, it can be commercial, societal, political, or just simply improving public knowledge and actions. Project partners can exploit results themselves, or they can only facilitate exploitation, which means like transferring the technology through knowledge or technology transfer process, or just simply making the results available through open licenses, open source results. So then what is exploitation? Literally, it means derive a benefit from or make a use of. That is what exploitation stands for. So the exploitation process is a methodological and value-driven process to approach long-term sustainability. In most cases, exploitation is more or less equivalent to commercialization. So usage of the project results for business purposes or even for non-commercial, like for further using the results for further research, for standardization or training. Here I have to call your attention, which is a general misunderstanding, that publication is not an exploitation. Publication goes to the dissemination category. So we have to make clear what is the difference between dissemination and exploitation. Dissemination is also a very important process. So that is sharing the results with professional public, and it should not be restricted, the knowledge to the project partners, but there is a general professional public what should be informed about the project results. There are various tools to do that through scientific publications, policy briefs, training workshops or demonstration, sharing results on online repository like research data. And then exploitation is making use of the results. These are usually include knowledge management tools such as intellectual property protection, like the most typical one is patenting, introducing it to the results to further research projects, developing products, developing new technologies, developing new services, or even establishing a spin-off or startup company. So there are different tools in exploitation and in dissemination. Of course, the tools are different because the goal of these two activities are different. However, they are interrelated. So there are some important keywords what play an important role at the early stage of exploitation. That is intellectual property. And when you start a project, background intellectual property plays a very important role. So it should be clear what background IPs are used and what and if the intellectual property legal status is clear. So there are agreements about the usage of background IPs. So the next expression is result. Results are generated during the implementation of the projects, and usually IP rights are attached to these results. IP are typically patents or know-hows. Patent is a registered intellectual property, while know-how is an unregistered intellectual property. Then from the results, there are so-called key exploitable results, or the typical abbreviation CARE. These are the expected results coming from the project which have mainly commercial significance. So can be exploited as a standalone and improved product, process, or service. Commercially important exploitable results are clear, but then there are non-commercial exploitable results. They are not called typically key exploitable results, but still very important. As I mentioned before, it could be input for further research, or new standards, new training materials, and any open source results. When we are talking about intellectual property, then we have to talk about the ownership of intellectual property. That is not trivial for most of the partners. As any physical property, we have owners of intellectual properties as well. That can make some difficulties. There are simple cases when this key exploitative result or the intellectual property is generated by one single partner. Of course, then the owner is that respective partner. The situation becomes a little bit more complicated when this intellectual property is co-generated by two or more partners. So in this case, joint ownership will be defined and the parties should agree on the terms and conditions of the ownership in the form of a joint ownership agreement. The joint ownership agreement defines all the rights and duties of the parties. For example, what are the percentage of the ownership, who has the rights for commercialization, who is going to pay the patent fees and maintenance fees or any other fees, whether any of the parties have the right for further development, any veto rights, and so on and so on. So there are many important issues to be agreed in this joint ownership agreement. In the project planning as well as in the implementation, there is a document which is a major document which is called Plan for the Exploitation and Dissemination of Results, or the abbreviation is PEDR. This is a document what usually technical partners don't really pay too much attention. The report or the Plan for Exploitation and Dissemination is an essential document at the very end of the project as a report, and I could see several projects which could not close their project at the right time due to unacceptable quality of this report. It contains both dissemination and exploitation, as I mentioned before, because they are interrelated. Usually, exploitation stands in a separate work package, separate from the technical work packages. So it is advisable to develop a communication, dissemination, and exploitation work package, a typical setup or task list of such a work package is communication and dissemination, IP strategy and knowledge management, exploitation of the project management, project results, but then any other tasks could be defined, such as market analysis, stakeholder engagement, and so on and so on. But these are the major components of the work package related to exploitation. When you develop your proposal, it is not only the work package which contains information about the exploitation activities, but Chapter 2.2, which is called Innovation Potential, it also requires you to describe your exploitation intentions. So first of all, what are the expected key exploitative results? Who are the parties, and what are the exploitation intentions? This is a chapter which is usually not so popular among researchers and engineers from companies, so and for researchers from public research organizations. So it is very, very important to understand the essence of the exploitation process to be able to develop well-established Chapter 2.2 and not to fail in the evaluation process due to the shortcomings of this chapter. Our company already has some background in the exploitation process. We have been a partner, mainly work package leader in 9 projects, and also consulted more than 80 projects as an external consultant on exploitation. Our knowledge is based on this practical experience from the project implementation of our own projects, as well as all those 80 projects what we consulted as an external consultant. So that was all what I wanted to share with you about exploitation, and I hope that it helped you to develop a very good proposal, as well as to have a successful project implementation. Thank you.
Hello again, and thank you very much for participating in this class and this topic. It's a pleasure for us to have you with us in our program. So I would like to thank you again and just say that the Enriching LAC Center, it's an association that's located in Latin America. And obviously we put together, as I mentioned before, we put together Europe and Latin America. As a center, we coordinate this, we coordinate the services, and we are at your disposal to support you in any time, in any sense, to make possible our main objective, which is innovation, internationalization, and make sure that we come to the reality and projects that will benefit not only our business and our companies, but also the whole humanity. Thank you very much for being here with us. Bye-bye.